All right, let's go. Welcome to another live episode of Daddy's Right Here Live. I'm your host, as always, Severe Aline. It's up, it's up. No, it's just And again, welcome to another live episode. I am your host, as always, Sabir Alim. Yeah, uh, that's my latest release. I'm currently working on another album, which should be done by hopefully the end of this month, beginning of April. All the music tracks are done. The vocals are the next thing in. So I'll be bringing you on to a live session, a live recording session when I start putting the vocals down onto the tracks as well. But it shouldn't take me a whole lot of time because the three of the songs are actually remixes. Uh, then I just wrote another song last night. I got two other songs I got to finish up, so I'll be popping on those in any minute. But yeah, I'm going to bring you into all the recording sessions so you can get an opportunity to check that out as well. You ever talk to somebody, right? And in the midst of all the conversation, they say things to you like, you don't know who you're talking to. You must don't know who I am. Um, who do you think you are? And they come up with all these kinds of uh, comebacks, cliches, when they're in the midst of a conflict. But people are real good at identifying what your issues are. People are real good to tell you about you. But if I asked you right now to tell me about you, what would you actually be telling me? You want to tell me things like where you work, who your parents are, who your wife is, who your husband is, where you live. What are you going to really tell me about yourself? And the other side to that is, what do you tell yourself about who you are? Where did you get the definition of self? Right? So you have to understand what that means to define yourself. Who defined you? Where did you get the description from of yourself? Who told you that about you? Who told you that? Where did the messages come from? Who shaped and formed you? Other than the creator himself, right? But who shaped and formed you? How did you become the person you are today? Was it your past trauma? Is it your current situation? Was it your living environment that you just adapted to? Did you just start hanging with a certain group of people and they shaped and formed you? Who are you? For real. That's important to understand because how the hell do you stand in front of somebody else and tell them, like, you don't know who you're talking to when you don't know who they're talking to? You really don't. You put on all these facades about this person and you want people to believe that you are this person, but you're only that person in their presence. You're not that person at home. You're a different person at home. Yeah. You're somebody totally different at home. Then you become somebody different at work. Then you become somebody different at the club. Then you become somebody different when you're sitting on the bed at the end of the day, holding your head in your hands, trying to figure out what the hell is going on with my life. Where am I going? What have I done? Why is it this way? Is things going to ever change? How long do I keep living this way? Because people get to the point where they don't want to live anymore. And it has nothing to do with the external things. Those are the things that are blamed. You blame everything outside of you for your condition. Everything outside of you is at fault. It has nothing to do with you. If only I had more money. If only I had more drugs. If only I didn't grow up poor, living in a project in Philly. If only, if only, if only. These are things that are you. These are things that you have determined that are significant to your personal growth and development. And they have absolutely nothing to do with it. They actually are your tests. These are the things that shape you. They shape you. But they only shape you based on your response to them. If a dog comes running at you, do you stay with the thought of don't run? Because if you run, that makes them chase you. If a bear comes chasing you, lay down and play dead. Do you stick to that theory? How does that theory? Have you talked to somebody who actually did that? Got chased by a bear, stopped, dropped, rolled, and played dead, and lived through it. Does that actually work? Have you ever stopped running when a dog was running towards you? Have you ever done that? Think about it for a minute. Have you ever done that? Did you get bit? So what really works? Where does all this information come from? And why do we absorb some, not all, some of this information? What is it about us that we feel compelled to absorb that kind of information? If a dog is running towards me, I'm reaching for the strap. I don't care how much you love your dog. I'm not getting bit. I'm not going to stand there and see if he does. He has teeth. It's an animal. It's an animal. Really? It's an animal. I'm running. You know, there's things that we learn from other people. And for whatever reason, we choose to follow these people's thinking. And then you later find out the very person that you were following, right? You found out that their thinking wasn't as sharp as you thought it was. So they failed you because you found out that they were somebody else. You know, we have a lot of those people. If you look in your feeds, you see a lot of people, especially of late, who are real chatty, who had a whole lot to say, real grandiose, real narcissistic, right? Knows every damn thing. And bam, now they're in the spotlight because of untruths, because of conduct that is not in alignment with what they've been saying. You're crushed by that because you thought they were the ace boon coon. They were the know all, the do all, the say all, the tell all. They were the one. And look at how you reduced yourself. You reduced yourself because you didn't even take the time to do the research on what it is that they were saying first and foremost. You didn't take a look at how long they've been doing what they've been doing and what has been the outcome for all that they have been saying. Because the outcome is far different. Oh, I don't have to say names. No need to. Because it's not just one person. It's not just one person. It's everybody. All of us present ourselves in a certain manner around certain people because that's how we're conditioned. That's how we're conditioned. I've been a professional for 30 years. I'm not the guy who's going to sit up there and yes, and you know, the hypothesis of no. I'm gonna have a conversation with you about whatever the subject matter is, but I don't fall in line. I don't fall in line. I know there's proper etiquette, but I'm not going to become this fake fraudulent person in your presence because you're president of such and such and all this other. This whole mindset of there's a certain etiquette that we must have when talking with other people. Why? Why? Why do I have to dumb down for you? Why? Why do I have to become uppity for you? Why? That's not who I am. And again, there's certain acceptable etiquettes in different environments, right? Just it's like saying you can't come with street uh, 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 dialogue sitting at a corporate table. Why not? Is that your bottom line? What is your bottom line? Your bottom line is why we're meeting. Your bottom line is not, how I talk and all those things like that. The bottom line is you brought me to this table for a reason that obviously benefits you. That's why I'm at this table. No different than the person in the corporate office coming down to the hood and want to have the tie on and talk all tight neck, right? He can talk. We gonna listen. Why? Because they're there for a reason. And obviously they're there because there's something there that they need, that they want. And I'm not just talking about drugs. What I'm saying is you convince yourself that you need to be this way in order to be around this group of people. You feel less than when you're not. And you say, no, I don't. But your elevation and aggression changes when you're around these people because you're guarded. Now, when somebody says something, you want to be a little slick with the mouth because you think that they're trying you. You think that they're trying you. That's the world we live in, folks. When you're running around guarded all the time, you're guarded for a reason because you lack total comfort within yourself. So you become this damn chameleon. You start doing all these shifts when people are around you, when you're around certain people, when you're going certain places. You do all these shifts within yourself. You told yourself you needed to do that. Nobody made you do it. You decided that when I'm around these people, I have to be this way in order for me to get through the day. Because if I don't, then they're not going to accept me. They don't accept you any damn way. They really don't. They care nothing about. They're not even thinking about you in most instances. But you put so much thought into who you need to be when you're around these certain people. So then it just goes back to the comparison. The comparison. Who are you comparing yourself to? Who gave you this image of who you need to compare yourself to? So you needed to be like them or unlike them. We have a society that's predicated on not being like the other, but wanted equal application of liberties and think because this group gets it, this group should have it too. When you're losing sight of the fact that we're only 13.4%, there's a whole lot more outside of that. There's a whole lot more outside of that. So why should you be receiving certain things? Well, it might be the right thing to do, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be that way. Doing the right thing is your responsibility. Don't expect anything outside of you to be right. Don't expect anybody outside of you to be right. Nothing. Man will always fail you. You have to understand that. So while you doing all this shape shifting and this chameleon stuff in your life, being all these different damn people, so damn confused about who you are, everybody's moving on. Everybody's moving on. Everybody's living and enjoying their lives. You're trying to go here so so-and-so can see that you went there too, that you can afford to go to this event, or you can afford to wear this. You can afford to buy that. You can afford to eat at these kind of places. It's foolish. Because at the end of the day, everything that you go out to a restaurant and buy, you can do better at home, but you just choose not to. Some of y'all choose not to because you just don't want to cook. Some of you choose not to because you just don't want to factor it into your day. Some of you choose not to because then what would they think about me? Somebody has to see me sitting in this restaurant. Somebody has to see that I can just stop at the drop of a hat and just go into a restaurant and get me something to eat. Who are you proving that to? Because then at the end of the day, it goes back to that scenario of you're sitting on the edge of your bed with your head in your hands, talking about, damn, I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I got to move. I got to pay rent. I got to do this and I got to do that. How am I supposed to be able to do all of that and keep up with the damn Joneses? I still don't know who the Joneses are, but it's people out there called the Joneses who everybody seems not so many people want to keep up with. So many people want to keep up with these Joneses. The Jones. See, this is what you have to understand. Let me break it down for you. You know what a Jones is? A Jones is a desire. Like you be jonesing for that cold, ice cold Pepsi. You be jonesing for a nice, stiff, neat shot of some Douce. So if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, I've just given you the definition of who the Joneses are. That's you. That's your desire. That's out of control. That's unmanaged. That's you. You keep thinking that if I wear these designer clothing, they're going to like me. They're going to see me differently. They're going to think I'm somebody who I'm not. Because your ass is broke. Your pocket's just hurting. Your bills ain't getting paid. But you look real good. You putting that on yourself. You putting that on yourself. But you want to blame somebody. Somebody come out their mouth with some slickness, then you want to get offended. You want to, you want to fight now because they done called you on your stuff. But just like the business owner who sells designer clothing, right? They're selling you bootleg stuff. You know why? Because you think you know the difference. You think you know authentic. You don't know authentic. How is it authentic? Because the store, the sign is out there. They did a case study of women's shoes some time ago. They opened up this store. They made it look like a straight boutique. It looked like a boutique. Now remember, it's being compared to something. When I say it looks like something, that means that there's a comparison to something else. So it looked like a boutique. They had it all like it was neat and pretty and, just the bare minimum, but tight with the presentation, right? And they put all these shoes up on the shelves. So they had the window. People walked by and did window shopping before the store opened because they were setting the tone. Then they had the grand opening for the store. All these people came in there and the media was there, but I had it set up. The media was there, was interviewing people about the product they were in there seeing, that they were buying. And everybody was telling me, oh my God, I just had to have these, and I've never seen, and the price was just, And they later found out that these were all Payless shoes. Yeah, Payless. The store, Payless shoes. All the shoes in this boutique were from Payless. So I want you to switch roles. I want you to be the Payless shoe sitting on this shelf in this boutique environment. That's where bougie comes from. People keep putting themselves in situations trying to be something because they want you to see them in this particular light because they convince themselves that they are this when in your presence, but then when they at home by themselves, not even close. Because they live in certain neighborhoods. I live in a gated community. It's just a damn gated community. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's just what side of the fence you're on. That's all. We're all on different sides of the fence. If you're in prison, somebody's on the other side of the fence thinking they in prison too, when they're not in prison. It's incarceration. Come on. There's two sides to that fence. It's safer in prison. I worked in prisons for years. It's safer in prison than it is on the street. But for those on the other side of the fence, they say, well, it's safer out here than it is in there. Once you understand the politics on both sides, you live. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. It's all about perception, but it all begins with self-perception. It's like, listen to this. So many of us try to do everything we possibly can to not find ourselves in situations where it could cause us our life. Right? People say, well, this happened. I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. Somebody come to rob me. I ain't giving them nothing. And then another person say, well, on the other side of that is that watch can be replaced. But then you turn around and give the watch and you get killed anyway. Well, what you going to do? You going to be mad because you got killed? Tell me how that works for you. You operate in fear of death. First and foremost, you need to understand that death is life. But you have to live during the course of it in order to die. If you don't come to life, you don't exist. If you live, expect death. You can't escape it. When it's time, it's time. So you make whatever decision you feel you need to make in given situations. I'm simply telling you that what, you going to get mad because you're dead? You going to get upset because they killed you? You're dead. You're dead. Be yourself. Do you. Stop trying to appease other people. Stop. Because they don't care anyway. They ain't paying that much damn attention to you as you think they are. They're really not. It's you. You up in your head about what they think. You up in your head about they looking at me. You're up in your head about who do I need to be so they can see me. Do you see you? Do you see how much time you spend in the mirror? Trying to be who? Trying to be who? You're not trying to be you. You're trying to be this person that you think others want you to be. Because you're trying to attract who? Somebody who likes you, but they don't know you. You don't know you. They can't even see you. Because you've masked you. You've masked yourself with all kind of vanity. You get the eyelashes, you get the lipstick, you get the makeup, you got the dudes with the black beards and they look like mannequins. You got all kinds of stuff. Who are you? You're afraid to be yourself. You're afraid to go out of the house without makeup. You're afraid to go out of the house, with unpressed clothes. Do you know how long it took me to not have to iron everything I put on before I went out? I ironed sweatpants because I was always professional and I had to break through that so I could just be myself. I'll put on a shirt in a minute, wrinkled. Hey, Mark, can you go turn the TV on for her, please? When you get a second. So I'm guilty of the same thing. But until you start maturing and start growing and start taking a look at yourself and what it is that you need to be doing, you got to start looking at yourself. Be yourself. I've seen so many people, right? They do these like spot videos, with them with no makeup on. And they look like totally different people. Totally different people. But then they'll go right back to, and they call this beauty. Since when is that beauty? They call them beauty supply stores. And it's stuff in there for men and women. So I'm not just talking about women. I'm talking about men too. I'm talking about dudes. They like, listen, man. They got dudes running around with lace fronts. Come on. If it's gone, it's gone. I can let it grow. I can fade it. I can do all those things, right? But a faded horseshoe, ain't that deep. It's a matter of, like, what is it about you that makes you a good partner for anybody? What makes you a good wife? What makes you a good husband? Why? When you come and sit to the table, what kind of conversation can you possibly have? It's all fraudulent. It's all fraudulent. And I'm not saying it's intentional. What I'm saying is we have been so easily molded and shaped by the society we live in, by the media, by our parents, by our caretakers, by our loved ones. We by the hood, by the community. That's why so many people have been complicit in what happens in the world. Because if I say something to you, if I'm in disagreement about your thinking, then listen, you have to take a realistic look at what's happening in the world around you. And if you're separating yourself from what's going on in the world, then that's part of the problem. The system has separated us all, pitted all of us against one another as individuals. Me at odds with my sister. Me, and I'm not talking about black and white and Asian. I'm talking about period. Me and my own sibling can't even get along because we have a different perspective on life. Why can't we just accept the perspective? Accept the person as a person? A lot of times, if we sit down and listen, we'll find we're all going in the same direction, or at least trying to go in the same direction. We all want the violence to stop. All of us want that. But how many of us are vocal in those who are in our circle to say, yo, man, I'm not with that. And we're not going to be at odds with one another about it, but just know that I'm not going to sit by and say nothing. We have had too much sitting by and saying nothing to people in our circle who contribute to the continued chaos, the murder, and mayhem that goes on all over the world. It's not just one community. You've been made to believe that because that's the media's job. But when you talk about knowing you, and I say all that to say that I had every reason given to me to be racist by the accounts, by the trauma that I experienced as a child in the 60s. I could have came away from that. If I had people around me who were, it was the norm, but we didn't hate. See? We knew that if we went through the white community that we were going to have to go thick. And we knew that we were going to have confrontation, but we went back and forth to school. During the times that gang war wasn't going on, we would see these same white dudes in the street. Yo, what's up? Like one dude, Richard Doherty. Everybody remembers Richard Doherty. If you grew up in South Philly, right? In the 60s and 70s, you knew who Richard Doherty was. Richard Doherty was this little like this little white dude. What do you call like a? He was like a tank, like a little tank, little slick, nice looking kid, very well spoken. You know, everybody knew who he was. He speak. He come into the playground because we shared the playground. But then it was just those times when you had the knuckleheads who wanted to force the issue. The issue being their hate. And vice versa. It happened on both sides. But I had every reason given to me of why could justify me being a racist. I didn't grow up like that. When I moved into the projects, most of my friends in the project in South Philly in Wilson Park were white. I knew the difference between right and wrong acting people. I didn't lump people together. That's a choice. So if you around people who indulge in that kind of rhetoric, it's time to speak up. Like, yo, man, that's no truth to that. There's no truth to that. Where's your evidence? And when you hear people give evidence of something, they're regurgitating what somebody else said. I don't see principles, values, and beliefs of Marcus Garvey at the tables that I have sat at to bring about change. I don't see the values, the beliefs of Martin Luther King, of Malcolm X. I don't even see the beliefs and values of Jesus in most of you damn people. Come on. You profess to follow something. Well, why do you follow? You might as well go ahead and follow the funeral director down to the graveyard and go ahead and pick a spot. I mean, this is real rap, man. Y'all keep talking about you following this person, you're following that person. I don't see none of the values and beliefs being spewed from your mouth. I don't see it in your conduct. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You want to grow? You need to come to know who you are. Who you really are. Right? So your article, I always do an article mostly from Psychology Today. Because this is my practice. I'm a certified addictions professional. I've worked with individual adults with serious and persistent mental illnesses, substance use, abuse, misuse. Founder and president of Daddy's Right Here Incorporated, a nonprofit family services organization that seeks to decrease father absenteeism. I got some skills. I'm not just some dude who just jumped on camera. So I need you to know that. I need you to know that. I need you to know that I'm just not coming up with some bright ideas. You have your own evidence. You tell me your life is hunky-dory? Okay, you believe that. But do you believe that all the time? Yeah. That's how I ride in counseling. Do you believe that all the time? I'm good. But what does that mean? Chocolate ice cream is good. Is it the I with the AIITE? Is it the I with the AIGHT? Which I is it? Is it just I? What is it and what does that mean? Help me out. I just want to understand. So, when I speak to you, you say, I know what you mean. And we can kind of build on that. Because if I is not the greatest that you can be, then we want to take I to another level. Right? Isn't that? You want to feel better? Yeah, I know you want to stop coming to see me, but why are you coming to see me? Oh, because you're mandated. Okay. But you still don't have to come. You're mandated to follow the law. You violated the law willfully. But you're showing up here. Damn, that's progress. Right? So what is it about the law that you find so much difficulty with? Because you're not selling drugs because of the economy. because eggs are like $6 a dozen. That's not why you're selling drugs. And looking at them $1,400 sneakers on your feet and the $300 jacket that you're currently wearing, you definitely ain't hurting for paper. But you said that you had to move from where you were because you hadn't paid rent for the past 2 months because you've been struggling. I'm just trying to understand. The article, Psychology Today, Know Yourself. And they used the know, K-N-O-W. I put know in the title for mine. 6 specific ways to know who you are. And the article is written by Meg Selk, Selg. And again, it's Psychology Today. 6 vital signs are key to understanding career, success, and happiness. And you know what vital means, right? Of the utmost importance. Yeah. They check your vital signs when you go to the hospital. They check your vital signs when they come up on the scene and you are not breathing. Breathing is important. A pulse is important. Whether you can see, hear is important. I need to be able to give you direction. I need you to give me some information. Right? But these things are key to self understanding, success, and happiness. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Little ones woke. So, vital. You got to have them, right? If you want to move forward, if you are stuck where you are, honestly stuck, you ain't got to go tell nobody that you're stuck. We know you got to keep up that. But if you are sitting in front of this phone, in front of your computer, and you don't feel like you are progressing, that you can definitely do a makeover. If you are feeling that way right now, be real with yourself and understand these are vital to your success. Okay? So, key points from this article. Learning about the aspect of one's identity can lead to greater happiness, less inner conflict, and the ability to say no. Next key point. 6 key elements of self knowledge are found in the acronym VITALS: values, interests, temperament, activities, life mission, and strengths. Key point 3. While knowing one's vitals can help a person feel freer and stronger, people constantly change and society often conflicts with one's values. Right? Okay. So to know thyself is the beginning of wisdom. And this is what should start happening at some point in life. Once you shake off the boy and you shake off the girl, you start entering into young adulthood. You start entering into adulthood. You start experiencing some things, learning some things, and there should be a change somewhere in there with you, right? So that's what wisdom is. But when you have people who continue to live their lives without personal growth and development, who continue to feed themselves the same nonsense about who they think they are and not who they actually are, right? And when who you actually are when you're alone, that's who you actually are. I want you to understand that. When you are by yourself, when you are sitting on the sofa watching TV, when you're sitting on the side of your bed, when nobody else is around, that's who you really are. Yeah. Whatever's going through your mind, that's who you really are. So when we look at narcissism and we look at grandiosity, we first have to understand: is this a mental health diagnosis, or is this somebody who I've created within myself? Because at the end of the day, if I'm sitting home after a day at work and I feel broken down, I feel mentally distraught. What it, what messages am I telling myself about this? Yeah, we know work is work, but how do you feel about the work that you're doing? Do you feel fulfilled? Because remember last week's show, it was about purpose. It was about embracing life and entering into the realm of purpose, purposeful living, doing things that make sense, that keep you in alignment with your purpose, whatever that may be. That's what you have to begin to look at, right? Um, the third point: while knowing one's vitals can help a person feel freer and stronger, people constantly change, and society often conflicts with one's values. Always. That's why I roll solo. See, I don't have to get caught up in somebody else's stuff. I don't have to get caught up in somebody else's perception of me, somebody else's narrative on what it is that they're pursuing and how they're going about pursuing it. I'm not a coattail rider. I'm not the guy for that. I'm not. I know many people. I know many people with titles, many people in high places, and just as many in low places. And many of the high placed ones are from the low place and still in the low place. They're human beings. You're a man just like me. You put your pants on the same way I do, one leg at a time. Whether you slide over the foot and jump up and pull them up, or whether you slide it all the way up the leg and then the other one all the way to the leg, we put our pants on the same way, one leg at a time. And many people perceive that as being arrogant. Being arrogant means that you do not allow other thinking into your mind, that you don't give others the opportunity to express themselves, that nothing that anybody says matters if it's not in alignment with your thinking. That's arrogance. I've allowed myself to grow, to mature, to gain wisdom and strength because I don't serve man. First and foremost, I can't profess believing in a power greater than myself And for me, that's God Himself. There's no God worthy of worshiping except God Himself. And there's but one God. I chose not to continue practicing religion about 4 years ago because there's too many unanswered questions. After all these years, since 1988, studying Quran, Torah, versions of the Bible, still too many unanswered questions. But the question that was answered that was of the utmost importance is that there is a God. So what you think of me doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That doesn't say that I don't appreciate kind words. It's humbling. It doesn't mean that I don't appreciate other people. I appreciate humanity as a whole. So that means that I have to accept the good and the bad. Why? Because we're created as such. I know you're going to fail me. So for me to put all my eggs in your basket is just foolish on my part because you're going to fail me. Because we all have to make decisions and do things that's befitting for our spirit. If I keep doing things that befitting for you, I'll never make it. Yeah. I'll be among those wandering aimlessly, the ones who are dead inside, who are spiritless. You understand what I'm saying to you? So when you look at knowing who you are, this requires a lot of honesty on your part. To you, not me. I know you're lying, right? All right, so let's go into it. The benefits of self-knowledge. The article again, Psychology Today, Know Yourself, 6 specific ways. And you can Google it and go along with me. Please do. Pop in some questions, pop in some answers. Go along. Know yourself. 6 specific ways to know who you are. And that's Psychology Today. And the author is Meg Self. All right, so let's get into it. The benefits of self-knowledge, right? Maybe it's obvious. We always do this little thing here on TikTok after a certain time frame. You got to put the puzzle together and all those so cute things. Like I can see the damn puzzle, right? Maybe it's obvious, but here in a nutshell are a few reasons why you might want to know your own nature. Your own nature. That goes back to if you don't understand your own humanity, then you're going to continue to be amongst those wandering aimlessly. You have to know what your nature is as a human being. A turtle doesn't have to be told that it's a turtle, right? It gets in the water and it just, if you've never seen the miracle of those little loggerhead turtles, like when they come out and thousands of them be on the beach, you got to experience that. They know. They ain't waiting for somebody. Yo, where's Mike? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. A lion knows he's the king of the jungle, and he walks proudly with his crown. And he takes on whatever comes, whoever comes. He even takes on his own demise when he knows that it is time. He is the old one. There's time for someone to take over his little harem, and he knows that time is coming, and he owns it. Human beings are supposed to be the most intelligent. Your nature. What is your nature? Not what did somebody tell you. What is your true nature? You need to understand that. Happiness. You will be better. You will be happier when you can express who you are. Expressing your desires will make it more likely that you get what you want. Right? So you will be happier when you can express who you are. Think about it. Think about any time it is that you want to hold on a minute. couldn't do on a mic. I'm recorded. Expressing your desires will make it more likely that you get what you want. Think about how many times that you even in former relationships, one of the things that you do in relationships, right, is you want somebody who's going to give to you what it is that you want. Not what you need, because you don't know what you need. And you don't expect for somebody else to give you what you need. These are what you want. Because anything you need, you should be getting yourself. You shouldn't be expecting it from somebody else, right? So you're getting things from this person that you want. If you're not getting what you want from that person, are you going to stay with them? So if you're not getting what you want out of life, are you going to stay with life? Think about it for a minute. I'm not talking about the extreme sense of suicide. I'm talking about the extreme sense in that you will become so spiritually stripped, depleted, right? Because you got to keep on with this old pomp and circumstance in this dog and pony show when you're around other people. But in the meantime, you're in complete and total distress. You're on all kind of medications. You're self-medicating with drugs. You're doing all of these things and don't want to admit that it's you that's destroying your life. You want to blame somebody else. You're unhappy because you're so busy trying to impress people who don't care. They don't care. You get sick. How many phone calls do you get when you get sick? You get hospitalized. How many phone calls do you get when you get hospitalized? You have 675 Facebook friends. How many of those people do you even talk to? How many people do you even engage? How many people do you have in your life, in real life, that are your friends? And how many of them have failed you in different ways? You have to understand that. Right? The next point, less inner conflict. When your outside actions are in accordance with your inside feelings and values, you will experience less inner conflict. Let me read that one more time for the people in the front who didn't hear. When your outside actions are in accordance with your inside feelings and values, you will experience less inner conflict. You know, what I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. When you see me do functions like this, when you see me I do workshops, presentations, lectures, things of that nature, right? You say to yourself, well, this dude can't be an introvert. But I am. I'm in a whole zone when I'm in front of people. Like right now, I'm in the office by myself. My children in their neutral corners. But when I'm on the stage, I'm at the podium, I'm in the environment, I'm in a zone. I'm in a zone. And I'm so saturated with an understanding of behavior change, different skills that shape behaviors, right? That I can just pop, 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 pop off responses to things and based in evidence, because it's about evidence-based practices. Where's the evidence to support? It's not always research that you want to, be throwing out, because when you look at what's evidence-based, you look at what works. Research is the process of gathering the information, right? Evidence-based is the research has been done, and this is what has been working, and this is the evidence of it working, right? Research is just saying this was the study and this was the outcome of the study, right? But when you take all that stuff together and you put it into action, there's trauma-informed care. There's evidence-based practices, which, yes, its foundation is research. People did the work, got all this information together of certain kind of behaviors. Now they put it into a format. They put it into a skills building curriculum and things like that. It's already been researched. We know that this works because it's already been established. So when you start looking at evidence-based practices, you look at your own evidence. So you do your own evidence-based practice because you've already done the work. You've reached the experience. You've already been involved. You're your own researcher. So when you sat down and you acted this way in front of this person or these people, what was the desired outcome? Did you get what you wanted from that outcome? No, because you were working so hard at appeasing these people that you lost sight of yourself and don't even see that the focus was on giving them something that you thought they wanted. But it wasn't what you wanted. What freedom is in that? Better decision making. When you know yourself, you are able to make better choices about everything. From small decisions, like which sweater you'll buy, to big decisions, like which partner you will spend your life with. You'll have guidelines you can apply to solve life's varied problems, right? So you're tired of having the same unfulfilled relationships. What have you done different to have a more fulfilling relationship? And I've done shows on this. So please feel free to go to my Severe Lane educational station on YouTube and delve into the content. But you truly care for this person, even love them. But the relationship seems to be going in another direction. Now, a relationship implies there are two or more people, right? Two or more people. But are you not being two or more people when you keep acting this way over here and act this way over there? No, you, right? So hold that in your hand and let's come back. Two or more people. If the relationship is difficult, right? Then what's making it difficult? Have you changed your perception of a particular area of that relationship that is making you feel that way? Because you can very well feel that way, but it doesn't make it a fact. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are grounded in the mind, unresolved. Yeah, I call it the terror dome, right? So, what are you doing different about that particular thing that appears to be changing in some capacity? What are you doing about that? Do you have date night? Do you sit down and you eat dinner to table? The dinner to table. Woo! Do you sit down and eat dinner at the table together? Do you have a movie night? Right? Do you have sit on the beach and watch the sunrise and set night? What do you have that creates an environment of being able to have a conversation so we can move towards change? Or do you just give up and say, because this person is not doing enough to fulfill that area, then you just gonna walk? But what about you? You cut off your nose to spite your face because you didn't want to do anything different because you want that person over there to do it for you. When you didn't want to take any responsibility and ownership for what it is that you're doing and what you can do more of to bring that about. But do you do that to yourself? Do you walk away from you? How many times have you walked away from yourself? That's what you're actually doing. And you just don't understand that part. Yeah, that right there. See, that's that part when you're walking away from yourself. When you're sitting on the side of the bed and you just throwing in the towel, and you just sitting there boo-hoo and crying and snotting instead of doing some work on you. and taking a look at how true you're actually being in all of this. You understand? You that's what you're doing. You're walking away from yourself. You're walking away from yourself, and you don't understand that part. Right. So self-control was another bullet item. When you know yourself, you understand what motivates you to resist bad habits and develop good ones. You'll have the insight to know which values and goals activate your willpower. Uh, Resistance to social pressure. When you are grounded in your values and preferences, you are less likely to say yes. Right. I have to learn to tell my wife no if I don't feel like doing something, if I don't want to do something. That's something that is hard for us to do as spouses. But if we're not happy about it, if we're uncomfortable about it, if it causes difficulty for us, we have to. We have to. It's important because as long as you keep saying yes, when the time comes for you to say no, that person is going to be in shock because they feel like, well, wait a minute, didn't you? Tell? There's a lot to understand about self that we don't. You have to learn how to say no if that's not what you feel. I again, I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. I don't practice religion. My wife is Christian. She goes to church. Sometimes I go to church. Why? First and foremost is because it makes her happy. It helps us to represent a family because that's what we are. I don't have a problem listening to a good word. What's wrong with that? It's a word. I might need that word on that day. It might be something I need to put into the bank. It may be the answer that I asked for in the prayer. Understanding your nature as a human being. Understanding your nature as a human being. I do what's necessary. I'm happy doing for her. I'm happy doing for her. I'm happy that she's happy. I don't do things just to make her happy because I can't make her happy. And I don't want that kind of power. I'm a kind, loving, compassionate, patient person. I can't make you happy. And I'm certainly unable to do so if I am unhappy. Because if I am unhappy, everybody around me is at risk. It's a real simple thing. Resistance to social pressure, we talked about that. You don't have to say yes to everything. Tolerance and understanding of others. This is important. Your awareness of your own foibles and struggles can help you empathize with others. Listen, I have zero tolerance for disrespect. Zero. I'll confront it in a respectable manner. You understand? You can have zero tolerance for anything in the world. It's how you respond and react when confronted with it. If you spaz out because you feel like you were disrespected, that's a problem. I just cut you off. I don't deal with you. If I know that this is the kind of person you are, I deal with you with every limitation I can possibly have at my disposal. If I have to deal with you, I will always be respectful. I just know how far I can go in this situation. That's what you have to look at. I said this last week. I haven't had a physical confrontation with anyone since 1977. Since 1977. I could tell you how old I was then. 1977 was the last time I threw hands with somebody. Yeah, last time, because I don't carry myself in that manner. I don't conduct myself in that manner. And apparently, the authentic self that is presented to everybody else has proven when you are yourself, people will leave you alone most times. Just leave the, yeah, just no tough guy at all. Anybody's capable. All of us have the potential. So because you define yourself as being, you know, this gangster, don't mean somebody else don't out gangster you. I don't have to run around and act like some gangster, like some thug. I don't have to run around and act like that. And most of the ones acting like that is just what they're doing. They're acting because they have this unresolved about their perception, self perception that they have to address. You can't operate in fear. If it's time to go, it's time to go. Ain't like you're gonna be mad about it afterwards. Vitality and pleasure. Being who you truly are helps you feel more alive and makes your experience of life richer, larger, and more exciting. And that's why I said, if you're not feeling excited about life, you need to take a look at you. Don't look over to who's laying next to you. Don't look around the community and look at all the folks who aren't where you think they should be. Even if they don't belong there, they're there because that's where they choose to be. You can't take somebody out of the condition that they want to be in. You can't. They already have their own evidence as to why they're there in the beginning. What the hell are you going to do? People always want to call you when they know you're a clinician. People always want to call you and say, "Hey, can you talk to Johnny?" About what? Well, yeah, he's on that stuff. Shit. I can't talk to Johnny. When Johnny is ready, Johnny knows who I am. You direct Johnny to me at that time. Don't think I can go to Johnny and talk Johnny into changing his ways because he may show me respect and nod his head and be in agreement with how destructive he's being in his life right now. But Johnny ain't ready to let that thing go. Ain't ready to let that thing go. When a person is tired, only thing they need at that point is directions to where the damn place is for me to go to get help. When a person ain't tired, it's wasted energy. You wasting your energy. I'm telling you from 30 years experience working in the field, and I'm telling you from 30 years personal from cocaine. I was there when they start handing it out at bargain basement prices. I started moving it myself. Yeah. Start doing a lot of things. 30 years later. Still no. I'd be tired. I walked away from street life. Just walked away. One day I just told dude, "Yo, G, I ain't coming back." G thought I meant that night. I was like, "Nah, dude. I can't do this no more." Just made that decision. Between sticker boys, police, and then my own insanity, that's just too much, man. And when you live that life, you're in that life, man. You don't turn that person off. You understand what I'm saying to you? You don't turn that person off. When you about that life, you out clocking, breaking night, 2-3 days in a row, right? Get to always be sharp, always on point. You don't go home in the house and treat your family any different. You tell your family, "Yo, go stand over there and wait." What? Ah, listen, give me a minute. Right? You don't turn that person off. You don't turn that person off. Law enforcement don't turn off when they go home. They investigate every damn thing. No matter what it is, there's always an investigation going on because you're law enforcement. That's what you do. I'm a clinician. What I do, always changing behavior, always taking a look at me, always taking a look at, how I impact others. You know, I you know, did I'm the guy who rides up 95 and looks for somebody in distress. Yeah, yeah. I got a jack in the car. I got the jack, first aid kit. I want to help, right? That's that enabler part of me that I had to work on for years. Always wanted to save the world. So the building blocks of self, your vitals. So let's go to this. The capital letters in vital signs, VITAL, form an acronym for the six building blocks of the self, or vitals for short. The letters stand for values, interests, temperament, around the clock, life, mission, and goals, and strengths and skills. There's a whole lot that I just said. I know, just know that it's vital. B, values such as helping others, being creative, health, financial security, and so on are guides to decision making and motivators for goals. Research shows that just thinking or writing about your values can make it more likely that you take healthy actions. So when you go in people's houses and they have like affirmations, stuck on the mirror, that and women are more apt to do that than men. Men, think it's girly, whatever that means. Or they have like signs around the house. You get yourself some motivational things. It was a company that I worked for, and they had big giant um, thoughts posted around. So when you're walking through the hallways, you're walking through the hallways, usually have your head down, you have something else in mind, and there's a message on the wall. So put messages around your house, that are motivating, that are encouraging, that are reminding you of a goal, hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Put those things around you. If it's a car that you desire to have, put that picture of that car right there. And we know within the next year that's going to change but it's that particular car. Like I like a Thunderbird, right? 65 Thunderbird, right? A 70 GTO, right? 69 Roadrunner, right? They got the 2005 Firebird, Thunderbird, that has little oval windows and little top to come off and all that. I like those. So, I'm going to get me an older car. I got a Charger Scat Pack right now, but I like the older cars, the ones you can fix with a ratchet set, a pair of grip pliers, and a screwdriver, those kind of things. But values, the motivation provided by worthwhile values can also keep you going even when you are tired, as shown in many psychology experiments. So if you're not in a job that is fulfilling for you, that is in alignment with your purpose, that's part of the reason why you feel the way you do. Yeah, you're being responsible. Yeah, you have a job. Yeah, you're doing, what you need to do to make those things happen. But where does your happiness come into play? You say, oh, well, listen, I'm happy just paying the bills. No, you're not. When you sit by yourself on the edge of the bed and there's nobody in there but you, what do you think about all of this? What do you really think about all of this? And ask yourself that. Just sit on the side of the bed. Sit on the patio. I do a lot of thinking on the patio. I have coffee. My window on the patio faces the east, so I can see the sunrise. I can see the moon. I can see the dark tar like look and the glistening light from the stars and the moon on the water. So much wildlife out there. Just that's when I do my thinking and my conversations with God. You got to take that time. You got to create the environment where you can. It's that time that you want to look at and ask yourself. Ask yourself, is this what I want? Is this what I want to feel? Is this how I'm going to continue to live my life? Feeling like this? It can be, listen, it can be brimstone falling from the sky. It is what it is. Move over so it don't hit you, but just know that it's coming to get you, right? But what you, if you're not living and enjoying life, what's the point, man? For real. And living and enjoying life is not this so-called freedom that everybody thinks because you work for yourself or you can get up when you feel like it. You can set your own hours. That's, listen, freedom for me is not having to do any of that stuff, right? But because I'm responsible, I do those things. But at the end of the day, it's no freedom in being an entrepreneur. You work more than you do working a 9 to 5. Entrepreneurial means that you are working 24/7, son. Yeah. I get done doing this. This is work. I enjoy doing it. I love it. It's my nonprofit. I don't have any funding. I haven't gotten applied for funding in years. Right? But it's just this is my purpose. My LLC, a lean for you, it's 24/7. I'm always creating designs, always getting equipment, always putting myself in alignment for when somebody knocks on the door, say, "Hey, yeah, well, we can help you. Yeah, we got a spot right here. Come, you can use this little storefront. Is this big enough space for you right here? Listen, I just need a corner. If you are in Riviera Beach, Florida, West Palm Beach, and you got just a little corner that I can put a little table in and sell my little product, I'll pay for that little spot. I don't need a whole lot. But if you are in Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, listen, holla at me. I just need the space. Got an online store going on. I just need the space. Yeah, a reasonably priced space. But I know you got a space in your barbershop. I know you got a space in your beauty salon. I know you got a space right over there. And listen, I can help cut down that rent if you can just give me that space. I just need a little space, right? So you know how to reach me. Yeah. But this is necessary, right? If this is what you value, and you want to bring things to fruition, you got to start doing some things different. Interests. Interests include your passions, hobbies, and anything that draws your attention over a sustained period of time. I am always on the grind. This is my studio. So here in this little space, right, is where I work. My laptop is right here. My iPad is in front of me over here. I got varied cameras that I connect. I do my shows. I do my videos because I'm also an artist, so I do videos. I edit, all kinds of different. I'm a filmmaker. Yeah, so I edit all the stuff myself, and this is where it all takes place. I do all my. Right next to this is the area here where I got my microphone and my Porta Studio, 24-track Porta Studio. So I'll jump up from here, take the music from off my computer, pop it into the deck, go ahead and spit the rhymes. Take it off of there, put it in here, mix and master it online. Everything takes place right here. On the other side of all of that, I have a DTF printer. I have a vinyl cutter. I have a sublimation printer. I have heat press there. I got another heat press there. I got a laser engraver. We got a nice, I guess, what is this, a 40, 50-inch TV here that we can actually connect to our computers, and we can work up on the larger screen if we want. But we can sit here and watch movies and stuff. Over there is my wife's station. She has her computer. It's a Cricket over there on the other side, right? And then we have merchandise up there. Then we have supplies and stuff down there that we use. all in one space. Yeah, this is just one little room. Yeah, just one. We the only ones that be in here. Most of the times it's just it's me. But I'm in here all day. I get up in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, roll up in here and start tap 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 on the computer or start doing vocals. Yeah, turn the TV on, watch a movie. She get up in the morning to go to work. I'm here. I'm retired. So you know, do something. And a lot of relationships are severely impacted by doing nothing because you're always looking towards the other person to do this for you, to do that for you, to take you here, to take you there, to do all these things for you that you can actually do for yourself. And that was issues in some of my previous relationships because it was always about me doing my presence, right? Hey, learn how to knit or something. Pick up a hobby. Stop looking towards your partner to do that. That is not the role of your partner. You have to fulfill your own happiness first. Do something with yourself. Don't be sitting there because I'm in here working because I'm working on another song, and now you in there with attitude because you rather me be sitting in there with you doing nothing but watching TV. I'm not that guy. This is what I do. This is what I do. But I have balance with it, right? But then there are times like right now I'm working on the album, right? So my time in the studio is a little more regular, right? My time sitting in the bed with the laptop on my lap or sitting on the table and listening to tracks and creating that. So I understand that my presence is significant. So if she's laying in the bed watching TV, I don't have to be in the studio. I take this with me. I got a fold up little computer table, put it on the table, lay there with her. Can sit there and hold her at the same time, and I even let her listen to music. Listen. She's on some of my tracks. I put her on some of the records. You got to learn how to do those kind of things, man. Right? Uh, Temperament. So get a hobby. Temperament describes your inborn preferences. Do you restore your energy from being alone? It says introvert or from being with people, extrovert. I talked about that earlier. I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert, right? I talk to anybody. My wife always with me, stranger danger, because I just talk to people. You know, conversation is people. People really want that. In a lot of instances, they just want to have just some idle conversation. Hey, what's going? We all want touch. I did a fatherhood class, and I was telling the the class was on touch, human touch, and the need for the human being to be touched, right? Um, and we what and this was early in the class. The class I think started at 6, and this was like about 6:10, 6:15, and we were having this conversation. And a lot of guys are coming from work, and they come in the latter time, and I was sitting there with them, and I was telling about the significance of touch, how we like to touch, be held in some capacity, and how we greet each other and what that greeting looks like for some. And then I told him, I said, so now watch. Everybody who comes into the class, watch what they do when they come in. And it was hilarious because everybody being there talking, and then as soon as somebody come through the door to come into the classroom, everybody would kind of like, and they would see like one dude, he came in and he put his hand on the back of one dude, a greeting. Hey, like, what's going on, Mike? And he didn't say it because people were talking. It was chatter going on. And then, how some greeted, they sit in the chair, turn around. But everybody, almost everybody who came through that door, right, did the same thing, did just what I was telling them about touch, the exact same thing, except one person. And that's only because he sat up front, so he didn't have anybody to go to. But it's a matter of if you're an extrovert, you're going to always be that way. You're gonna always, be the life of the party kind of person, right? And if you're an introvert, you can become the life of the party, but people don't realize you're in a zone. I go into a zone. It's like it's like I'm in the library, opening up books and folding through stuff and going through stuff as I'm talking. I'm in the library. Okay, we're going there. That person that said this. Okay, we're going to go this next. This we're going with this. That's how I am. That's how much of in a zone I'm in, right? And I have to switch gears when it comes to a Q&A part. If it's a workshop, I'm in it. If it's a lecture, I'm in it. When you get to the Q&A part, or when you have to answer, I have to answer somebody's question, impromptu, right? I'm always solution oriented. Most times solution oriented. Now, if you're annoying me, right, then I'm going to diplomatically let you know that you're annoying me, like by ignoring you, by going to somebody else. John, you know what? Let me go to somebody else right now. I've been on this side of the room, and I'm gonna go to the other side of the room, right? Yeah. So you have to look at knowing the answers. It says here, knowing the answers to temperament questions like these could help you gravitate towards situations in which you could flourish and avoid situations in which you could wilt, right? So some of the questions coming from this annoying person may very well be relevant to the knowledge that you intended based on the key points that you said that you would have happen, right? So good question, Mike, because somewhere along the line, this person that is annoying you may just have a whole lot of questions and may just not be able to comprehend the fact that you ain't the only damn one here. Everybody else paid too. Well, if it was a paid thing, right? They paid too. Everybody else deserved. They came, So, but so that's why you can't get locked into the judgment of the annoying person. You have to be careful because you have to hear what's being asked. You never know who's in the room. So it's ways you have to deal with things, but you have to show people your skills and how you deal with situations like that. Yeah. Okay, temperament. Around the clock activities. That's A. The around the clock category refers to when you like to do things, your biorhythms, right? So you got biorhythms, your biorhythms, things you like to do. And if you algorithms is things you like to look at. It's things that you gravitate towards. And that's why when you gravitate towards the same thing in your feed, when you look at the same kind of stuff over and over again, you could be sitting there looking. Well, they listen to you know. You could be in the house talking about, yeah. We got to get a new water hose, one of them collapsible ones. And then, you looking in the feed. Next, you see a collapsible hose. It's like, how do they know? But so that's what algorithm is. The algorithm, it focuses on what you view. What you view. Biorhythm is you taking a look at you. What do you like to do? Right? Biological, biology, my true nature. You following me? My nature. It's important. What is your true nature as a human being? This ain't no spooky, mystical stuff that I'm talking about. It's stuff that makes sense. 2025 is the make it make sense year. Make it make sense. Are you a morning person or a night person, for example? At what time of day does your energy peak? If you schedule activities when you are at your best, you are respecting your innate biology. Innate. It's already within you. You are showing that part of you respect. You, there are a lot of people who can work an overnight shift. I worked a 4 to 12 shift for some years, and then I did 12 to 8. For some time. Not that long, thank God. It just and people often say, "Well, it takes a special person to work 12 to 8." It's a job. I get it. You take the job. But some people doing a 12 to 8 shift, you will swear it's an 8 to 4 shift. But that's my perception. That's where I flourish best in that environment. Musically, my brother and I just had this conversation. A lot of artists record at night. Most studios are only open during the day. So you're trying to get your time in during the day. But I'm at my best after 3 p.m. Yeah. After 3 p.m., I'm ready. When you get to like 6, 7 p.m., I need that old man nap. 9, 10 o'clock at night, I'll burn this bitch down. You understand what I'm saying? You have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to know when is the best time for your performance so you can flourish. But if you're working an overnight shift and you're just not an overnight kind of person, you are struggling. And eventually you are probably going to lose your job. Yeah. Because you're not up. And if you got a supervisor like me, I like doing drive-bys. I roll up on you 3 o'clock in the morning. Just when your eyes will be like. And then like 5 o'clock. You working 11 to 7. I get up on you at 5 o'clock. I worked an overnight shift. 5, 6 o'clock, I was brain dead. I got that little surge like around 7. I started walking around. But other than that, I was like struggling. Whatever you do, look at when you're doing it. If it's things that you don't like to do during a certain time, that's really a discussion to have. Especially if you have a wife or a husband. You should be having, listen, I go to a movie theater. When it gets silent, it's a deafening silence. It's an insulated silence. Perfect mixture for sleep. I'll be gone. Before the what do you call it? The promos, the trailers be done. I'll be out. Right? And it takes so damn long to get the movie started. Like, come on, y'all should know by now. Anybody coming in there over 55, y'all should be getting this thing popping real early. Let it start on time. Listen, that's on me if I miss some of it, but let the damn movie start on time. Don't tell me it starts at 6. And then you show 45 different damn trailers, and then you want to tell me about popcorn and turning my phone off. I'm asleep. But if you schedule activities when you are at your best, you are respecting your innate biology. One joy of my adult life, and this is the author, has been finding a partner with biorhythms like mine. We wake up early and go to bed early. We both get snappy unless we eat 3 square meals a day. We hate brunch. While the idea of biorhythm preferences may sound trivial, Compared to lofty qualities of the self-like values, your daily life is more pleasant when you are in sync with your biology. So, what it suggests here in this statement is that until you find the sync, SYNC, the sync between your innate biology and your lifestyle, you're going to continue to vacillate back and forth on so-called success and success, right? You'll tell yourself you're making progress when you really put nothing into it. It just changed because it changed on its own, right? But if you want to see the full benefit of living this life, right, you got to change your circle. I like my circle where it is. Me and my wife, we two peas in a pod. We sit downstairs, like she might be she's in her chair, and I might be on the long sofa, or I might be on the love seat doing work, but we good. We got blackout drapes so the light from the patio can't come in. We got dark curtains hanging up between the kitchen and the living room, blinds closed. Bam, we in the theater, and we'll be like that to the next day. If she doesn't have to work the next day, man, we set up camp and we done. We right down there. We fun, love it. Going to bed 8:30. Let's go. I'm with it. Right? Get into bed, put a movie on. We know. We even bet who's gonna be asleep first. We good with it. We good with it, man. Right? I done did all the street. I done did all the running. I done been here and been there and all this stuff, man. I'm not trying to go to every damn body's event. For what? For what? I'm not doing it. Uh-uh. You want to holler at me? You know where I live. You want to come hang out? Come hang out. You come on over. We can go over to the beach. Beach is 12 minutes away. We go to the beach. Go fishing. What you want to do? Play some Yahtzee? Work out? Got a gym on the patio? What you want to do? Want to watch some movies? You got a surround sound system, 70-inch TV? What you want to do? I got to spend money to get dressed. Listen, I never have to buy any more clothes ever again in life. Trust me. Never do I have to. Shoes, socks, underwear, shirts. I don't need to buy anything ever again in life. I don't need anything. But just a mere fact, I got to take the time. For me, it's a matter of time. My time is structured for me. And I don't do it selfishly. And I tell my wife that like communication is important. But I structure my day to do things ahead of schedule. Like I know that you're going to be doing such and such on Saturday. Like the one of the girls goes to dance class on Saturday, so that means that, and she doesn't always have to take the 2-year-old. I'm good with the 2-year-old's in there now. She's watching her iPad. She'll be in there watching TV, Miss Rachel, or some kind of learning something on this. She be watching. She's 2 now, so she's even quieter, and she understands a little more that Daddy's in the office, Daddy's live, and she comes in and stuff like that. So, but so when she talks about here, like finest in mind, like who's good, like, but this, that, and the other, you find that it happens. What was the last? L and S. We almost at the hour. L. Life mission and meaningful goals. What have been the most meaningful events in your life? What have been the most meaningful events in your life? What has been the most meaningful events in your life? If the most meaningful, and I'm not going to read the rest of them, we'll see what it says when we get in it. If the most meaningful events of your life happened outside of you, and didn't happen for your innate self? Let's see what this says. This was a question I like to ask when students would see me for career counseling at community college where I work. One woman, about 40 years old, got teary eyed as she tried to answer. Recently, she told me, I found it incredibly meaningful to care for my aging father as he declined and went into hospice. See the difference in the event? This wasn't like I went to somebody's baby shower. I went to somebody's party. I attended their wedding. There's no purpose in that. No, for your innate biology. There's no purpose. That's you wanting to go have fun, wanting to show somebody else that you can support them, show somebody that you care for them, but you could have picked up the phone and said, hey, I just checking on it. That shows you care for them, right? You didn't have to go get dressed up, go buy a card, a gift card, come there and like the food, sit there for a whole hour waiting on them to get there, waiting for the event to start, waiting for them to serve the food, then playing music that you couldn't even dance to. 5-6 hours out of your day. Now you're irritated. You want to show me you care? Just pick up the phone. Hey, what's going on, Shabir? What's happening? Just call them and say, hey. All right, that's good. Right? Meaningful event. She went to take care of her aging father. Like, it was meaningful to take care of her aging father until, he went into hospice. It's meaningful. Right? You have to look at meaningful things. What are you doing that's meaningful? How many things do you do every day on a regular basis for people because you want people to like you? You want to validate your love for them. You want to validate that you my ace boon coon. How many things do you do for your own self gratification and validation? But then how many things do you do that are actually meaningful? How meaningful could it be to just take a walk? Hey, with your daughter, your son. Hey, let's go. We can go down to the beach and take a walk. And take a walk. And just walk. Don't have an agenda. Just walk. And look. In order for you to connect with your innate biology, you have to understand the significance of you as a human being to life itself. Every breath you take gives oxygen or something to the grass and the plants and the grass. They all give it back and things like that. And understanding that you are a part of all of this. Man separated us from all of this. Separate yourself from man and be that which you were created to be and pursue your purpose. And you'll see life through a different lens. Who's in office at the White House, at City Hall? Who's the boss at the job? Who's this? None of that matters. Stop giving it relevance. It doesn't matter. This is all about you bringing to fruition your own nature. A turtle doesn't need a fish to tell it's a turtle. Tell it it's a turtle. The turtle don't need to tell the fish that your behind can't follow me up on land. The bird don't need nobody to don't need to a pigeon don't need for a duck to say, hey, you can't swim underwater like me. No, it already knows what it is and what it's supposed to be. A duck is not deciding that it's going to be a turkey today. I'm a damn duck. The last thing is strengths. Strengths can include not only abilities and talents, but also character strengths such as loyalty, respect for others, love of learning, emotional intelligence, fairness, and more. It goes, knowing your strength is one of the foundations of self confidence. Listen to what I'm saying to you. If you are an intellectual, be an intellectual. Don't dumb down for somebody else. If you have the intellectual response to an answer about something, give an intellectual response. Don't. And when people complain about it, well, then you give it to them in layman's terms. Intellect is only that you have internalized a thing. So you have an understanding of how to define a thing. Emotional intelligence, right, is another aspect of self that goes unaddressed because all you got two. You either happy or sad. Middle is just annoying, right? It's just annoying. That you're just annoyed. You got to be one or the other, or you're annoyed the whole time. Think about it. You're annoyed the entire time. If you ain't pissed off with something or somebody, right, you're happy as hell. When did happiness come into play for you? This false sense of happiness. It's not an innate happiness because that's what you need to fulfill. The innate. You don't have to teach a toddler how to walk. They're going to get up one day and just be doing it. You running around, grab little Johnny by his arms, stretching him all out of shape and holding him and pulling him all kind of different ways. And one day you just sitting there watching TV and here come little Johnny sashaying his behind across the TV screen carrying his little bear. And you're like, oh my God, Johnny, get the phone. Well, did you not think I was going to walk? Did you not think I was going to talk? Did you not think that I could hear you? That I could smell you? Did you? We at the hour, folks. We're at the hour. I don't know any other way to put it, man. It's just you gotta look at life through a different lens. You have to. If you don't start looking at life through a different lens, life is going to be the same. It's not going to be any improvement. It's not. Your life is not going to change. You're not.
I'm Jared Blakely from Blakely Law Firm.
Well, we don't.
I know you have a lot of choices when you're deciding which firm is going.
No. Derek Blakely, you just got a free plug. But anywho, life is not going to be any different, man. It's not. It is not. Until you start getting in touch with the fact that you are allowing your humanity to be on lockdown, right? That's what you're doing. You're holding your own self hostage because you're not being you. You're not being your authentic self. You're not doing the things. You are not doing the things that are necessary for you to grow. So it's the same regimen, day in and day out. Day in and day out, it's the same exact thing. That's not no kind of life to live, man. Every day when I get up, it's a different damn day. Just because I got to get up and take care of the little the 2-year-old because she's here with me, doesn't mean that today is the same. It ain't never the same. It's not never the same when I'm here by myself. It's always a different day. I'm always doing something different. I don't get stuck on the videos. If I'm working on a video project, I don't get stuck. I switch up, stop, bam. I go to music, bam. I pick up the pen, right? I got my paintbrushes back here. I do painting, acrylic painting. I do hand painted fashions. I got boxes of sneakers up there that I can work on to do some hand painted designs. I got all this other equipment in here. I can press a shirt or something like that to design me a new jacket. It's just so much that I can do, man. And it's entirely up to me that I do those kind of things. But I, listen, it's your life. I like to feel good about living. Are you feeling good about living? If you're not, it's time to change. And you can change that. Thank y'all for tuning in, man.
To the street with swagger and he often works to job to take care of my need, taking it all in stride. Daddy seldom complain. His emotions show high, all his aches and pain stays up in his head.
I'll see you next Saturday, 10 a.m. for another episode of Daddy's Right Here Live. I'm your host as always, Sabir Aleem. Make sure you go check me out. AleemForYou.net, AleemForYou.etsy.com, AleemForYouLLC.etsy.com. Make sure you go check out the merchandise, man. Listen, check out my music on. I can't find it. Make sure you check out all my music. Just put my name, Google Sabir. Google Sabir. Sabir Aleem. And you put in your Google search bar, bring up everything that it is that I have. If you haven't seen Daddy's Right Here Live before, there are about 400 episodes that you can find on my Sabir Aleem educational station. Go check it out.
My dad and I love him. With him I have no fear.
Because anytime I need him, I know
Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Nothing easy about fatherhood, protecting us from all the no good. Most of the time he gets it right.
I gotta get me another camera. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, you're watching from the laptop camera. For some reason, the other wide angle camera that I have keeps going out. I don't know why. I'm just going to get a new one. So I'm going to address what I can in lighting. I think if I shift my lighting for this camera, we'll be good to go. So if I look like a watercolor painting, it's still me. It's, Daddy's right here. But anywho, listen, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Y'all can be doing anything else on a Saturday morning than sitting here listening to me. Thank you so much, TikTok, for the love. This is week 3 with you guys doing the show here on TikTok. I've gotten so much love from you guys, man. Thank you. I even get you guys' attention when I'm just doing random lives. So thank you, TikTok, for giving me the opportunity to do my show here live. So you can find this show on my Sabir Aleem educational station on YouTube for repeat shows. Sit down with the family and check the shows out together. Sit down with your wife, your husband, and let's watch this episode and watch the sparks fly, but you'll grow.
With all he's been through,
Peace.
Daddy always stayed the course. Putting life on its terms, God is his go-to source. He turned his life around, seeking refuge from the one above. Now we have the best of him, a daddy full of love. He's my dad and I love him. With him I have no fear, because anytime I need him, I know Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. He's my daddy. He's my daddy. He's my daddy. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here.
Hey, make sure you stay tuned as well for my Aleem for You merchandise display. I'll be showing merchandise.
Daddy's right here.
I'll be showing merchandise from our store the things that I show you will only be able to be found in our pop-up shops. Anything that's online, you won't find at our pop-up shops. Not at this time. Until we expand a little more and start setting up inventory. Right now, we don't hold in any inventory on our site other than that which we're going to use for an event. But go to our site, aleemforyoullc.etsy.com, aleemforyou.net. Check out our merchandise. The best prices in the planet. We got them. But make sure you tune in when we start doing our show. I'll show you some of the things that we have here available. I'll even start giving you dates real soon on when we're going to be doing our pop-ups. Thank you for tuning in. And again, my name is Sabir Aleem. Thanks for the love, y'all. Peace.